Hello everyone and welcome to day one of my conversion project. I can't believe I finally got my hands on a full conversion project. Like, this has been a dream of mine for years. I've had 4 vans so far, this is number 4, but I've never actually converted one from scratch. So here is my Mercedes 508D. Sorry if you can hear my dogs arguing over a duck in the background. They just thought it was the perfect time just to have a little squabble now. Also, I haven't named her yet, so I'm open to suggestions, so make sure to leave some suggestions for me in the comments down below. I'm thinking maybe it's got to be a female name, because all my vans so far have been female names. So far I've had a Rosie, a Swifty and a Poppy. So they've all ended in Y, so something like that. If you guys can give me some suggestions, I'd absolutely love to hear them. So yeah, this is going to be the before video. So I'm going to do a big tour and hopefully I'm going to be able to compare how far I've got in the next few months. So let's start the tour. It's a bit creaky. Gonna need some WD-40, I think. So as you can see, quite a bit of rust. This is all going to be stripped back, sanded off, and I'm going to see what lies beneath. I'm probably going to find a lot more. I've got my welder ordered and ready, so that's going to be job number 1. So I feel like these kind of bits are going to be easy to repair with sheet metal, but this part where there's more detail, I might have to get a section of another panel just to fix that bit, but we'll see how we get on. Talking about watertight, got my free air conditioning in here. My plan is to completely get rid of all the windows anyway. I'm going to be replacing them all. So hopefully if I go for something a little bit bigger, I can cut this out and just cut all that rust out there. Obviously, I'm probably going to find way more than what's visible at the moment. So again, it's all going to be a case of seeing how I get on with that. As you can see, she's already got an extended roof to the original, which is super cool because I've always wanted the higher roof. It gives a lot more room to stand up in, and obviously it gives room for a bed at the front as well, which there is, but we'll get on to that. I do have a bit of a future plan that I've always wanted to extend the back part to make more room there and get an extra bit of seating space and sleeping space. After that, I'd probably add a roof terrace on, but this is all very future planning. I just need to get all the basics down at first. Quite a bit of damage here, as you can see. Somebody had a little bit of an argument with the lamppost and the van didn't really come out too well. So I've got some replacements on order for this. For the bumpers, I'm not going to replace them. I'm actually going to make some custom ones for the front and the back. So these are just going to come off and go straight in the bin, basically. Let's open up the back and see the inside. I don't know why they did this. So obviously double door opening up and maybe some opportunity to put some windows in the back. I've always kind of wanted a seating area with windows at the back. I had that on my old van Rosie, and I just used to love parking up and being able to see the view. So with that in mind, this is definitely going to come out. You'll see on the other side that there's some cupboards at the top here, but I'm going to be ripping that all out anyway. Boys, do you mind? I'm going to do a van tour here. So I didn't really think about doing the tour when I parked it in the bush, but we move on. And of course, the batteries are completely flat, so I have to jump start it. So we're just gonna have to try and work with what we've got. So one really rusty area is this gas cupboard here. The door broke on it and it's just been filling with water. And because the previous owner didn't drill any holes, it's just been sitting for the water. So of course, this is just totally rusted through. I am obviously going to repair it, but I'm going to use it for actually a different use. Instead of putting the gas in here, I'm going to put an underslung gas tank, and then I'm thinking about putting in maybe like a pull-out barbecue and a cooking area here. So we've got these vents. This is where the heat from the fridge comes out, the gas fridge. I've had these on my van before, and they are just not enough to keep cool, especially if you're going into hotter climates. So these are all going to be replaced, and I'm actually going to hook up some 12-volt fans to blow the heat out. That worked so well on my last van. It's absolutely a must do. On my last van, I got the 12-volt computer fans, you know, the ones that have the LED like rainbow light. So not only did it keep the van really cool at the back of the fridge, but it actually looked really cool, especially at night. You could see like the rainbow LED, and it was just amazing. So double cool. Passenger door. So obviously this passenger door here is right next to the rear entry door. And I have been considering sealing this one up. What do you think? I mean, am I going to be full of regret? I just don't know. It would give the cab like way more space. And obviously the build would completely change if this door was no longer in use. So it's something that I've got to consider really quickly. If you've done it on your van, let me know, I'd love to see. The one thing is that this rear door doesn't have a step, but this one actually has better access because it does have a step. Gino's in. I think he got scared of the creaking door. But then obviously I've got to consider how people can get in and out with the chair in the way. We've got the bed in the way if that's in use, so lots of things to think about. So let's have a look inside. So here's the cab area. Obviously we've got our big Mercedes bus steering wheel. I absolutely love just how original all this looks. It definitely needs a lot of cleaning, that is for sure. It's rustic at the moment. It's very rustic. The seats are nice and comfy. Sorry, just my dog knocking my tripod over. Seats are nice and comfy. They are swivel seats, so you do get a little bit of extra room. I do have a reverse camera, which I'm pretty impressed about. This model does come with power steering, which is very nice because my old van didn't, and it was like a workout driving it around. She's only done 150,000 kilometers according to the clock. Well, according to the clock is the right phrase there. I'm hoping she hasn't been around it a couple of times. There is also a very rustic diesel heater. When I picked it up, it was actually stuck on, so I was baking on the way home. But I did figure out how to turn it off, and it does save me a job of connecting the diesel pipes to the heating. Obviously, I will be replacing the unit though, because it looks like a fire hazard waiting to happen. Here we have the drop-down bed. Pretty solid feeling, you know. Feel like that's pretty good, but the only thing I would say is the size is a little bit small both ways. It's okay for children, but I think for adults it's going to be a little bit tight. So my plan is to extend this area because there is an extra bit of space here, and if I move the toilet, which I'll show you in a minute, back a bit, it will give me a lot more room to put a mattress maybe this way. Also, maybe a ladder to get into it might be a good plan because I've still got a scar on my leg for jumping up on one of these after a couple of beers, and yeah, that's taken a long time to heal. I'm not ready to redo that again. This is actually originally from a Heimer, so it's really nice quality, which is great. So as we go around the van, you'll see lots of the fixing and fittings are coming from Heimer. So I think the actual original conversion, someone actually took quite a lot of time and effort to make it like this. It would have been a good conversion in its day. I mean, they didn't have the YouTube and TikTok tutorials that we have nowadays, or the Pinterest boards. So I can only imagine how difficult it would have been to put together something like this back when it was first done. Moving on, if you think all this is sexy, wait till you see the toilet. Come into my lavatory. So this is a bit awkward to film, but I'm giving it a go. As you can see, it's just a wooden box, to be honest. It's got this gorgeous pattern that I'm keeping, totally keeping. I might do the whole van in it, what do you think? A lovely cracked unit. I haven't even looked in here. I mean, it just screams like dogs out now. It doesn't scream dogs out now. Dogs out now, go. If they couldn't make it any more awkward, this is just gonna be one video of me screaming at my dog. As I was saying, beautiful unit, beautiful sink, lovely water tank on display. So this water tank is actually what feeds the whole van at the moment, so I'm definitely going to be putting a better system in that's going to feed obviously the taps there and here, and installing a proper shower in here as well. I say in here, I am going to be moving this whole toilet that way to make room for the bed that I spoke about. And also the other good thing about that is, at the moment this window is kind of half cut off, so you're not really getting as much light as you possibly can. So once I move this unit backwards, I will have a full window for the rest of the van, which will give in a lot more light. And then for the bathroom area, what I'm planning on doing is constructing a roof light, because I always find when you're showering in a van, you get a lot of steam, condensation, and the best thing to do is just to have a nice roof light. And it just feels nice having a roof light when you're showering. I don't know, it just feels like you're outside in nature and it's just got a nice vibe to it. So moving through to the back, obviously we've got the kitchen area. Sink, draining board, lovely jubbly, and also it's got a little hob here. Just a simple 2 gas burner. I would like to get a nice deep sink. I think it's really useful when you're travelling around, if you want to quickly put some pots and pans in it, and you can kind of leave it there until you've got enough water to do the washing up. So I think a nice big sink will look really good. So the previous owner told me that this fridge doesn't work, but I have had quite a lot of temperamental fridges in my previous vans. I think it's one of those things that always tends to break in vans if it's not brand new. And to be honest, if I can get it working again, I will upcycle it. So I'm hoping I can. Sometimes you find if you just flip them upside down for a while and then turn them back round, that can get the gas flowing and they'll actually correct themselves. So I'm definitely going to try that. So as long as the gas hasn't leaked, I am really keen to upcycle this and hopefully I can get it working again. It's really easy to find parts for these sort of fridges, so fingers crossed I'll be able to get it going again. Excuse me, should we go? Let's go outside. Let's go outside for a bit. Let's go outside. So obviously here we have the back. Some glorious little owly curtains. Not much to be said, except obviously it just needs stripping again. Got a table though, you know. It's just a bit lackluster, isn't it really? I have no plans yet with what I'm doing here until I make that decision that I spoke about whether I'm putting like the windows in. And then also there's a consideration about extending this upwards and making it higher. So I would have another bed area separate from a seating area here. So it would be kind of like a chill out cubby kind of thing. Some good speakers at the back though. If they work, I think I'll be taking off. They look pretty powerful. So that's pretty much the van tour done. I hope you enjoyed seeing the inside. I am still looking for a name, like I said at the beginning, so make sure to give me some suggestions. It's going to be a long process. I really hope you join me. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can just follow the journey with me. I'm excited to start. I'm apprehensive, but I know I've got all your support and I'm just really looking forward to getting cracking really. And so are you, won't you? Yes, yes. Join me in my next video where I'm going to start ripping this van to shreds.